Hi guys, so today I'm going to be looking at a handful of different OSTs. Probably not going to get to like every single song on every OST because then we'd be here all night. These are coming from my Jazz Apple tier over on Patreon. So from this point on, what I'm going to do is that everyone in that tier can request a song and then I'll randomly draw one at the end of like almost every video and we can react to, you know, a random song. It's kind of going to be in smaller bits, but it'll be more frequent. But since this is my first month doing Patreon, I really wanted to get to the people who did have requests and check them out because I'm just like super grateful that any of you guys would come over there at all. I trust in your guys' recommendations. Are you gonna hang out for this or no? Okay, you can't sit on the keyboard though. It has gotten so warm here. I don't know about where you guys live, but it is burning up here now. Just suddenly it's like 80 degrees today. All right, so the first one we have today is from Fried Eggs with Spam. Love the username, by the way. This is from a game called Critical Velocity. Critical Velocity is a Japan-only release. I believe it came out for the PS2. Yes, that's what they said here. It is a Namco mission-based driving game. Came out for the PlayStation 2 in 2005 for Japan market only. So obviously some people have imported it to play over here, but it's probably not super well known. So all the more reason to check it out, honestly. Fried Eggs with Spam mentions that this is a jazz and rock OST, but most tracks are straight up big band charts. So very curious. Y'all know me, that's right up my alley. Got a very dissonant E piano. Got a sexy upright bass. Oh man. This is so cool. I'm definitely giving Cowboy Bebop, Yoko Kanno vibes. Those horns at octaves is just like eargasm. Awesome ass drum fills. We got a piano solo? Nope, just ends. Wow, what an opening. With no context, I would think that that is just like a big band album. It's definitely nothing I've heard before in a video game. I mean, obviously I've heard jazz-inspired songs, very heavily jazz-inspired songs, and especially like racing games. That was like a trend, you know, back in the 90s and early 2000s. It doesn't like shock me, but I guess it's just how big bandy it sounds shocks me. Let's look at the next track. It's called Invitation. I'm willing to bet this is like a menu music, something like that. It's got that calm vibe. Ooh. Yeah, cool chords. Yeah, some minimal, you know, minimal piano parts, but just the cool rhythms, them coming in and out. It's just right. Just the right amount of stuff going on. Definitely giving me some Persona vibes. Yeah, I would consider this like driving music for when it's real late at night, you're in the city. It's just perfect for that. Nice mute trumpet solo. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting the big band, I guess, because Fried Eggs with Spam had mentioned that, but it's just straight up, like, there's not really a lot of other influence, just pure jazz. This one's obviously a little bit more of a smooth jazz feel, but they've all got that that flavor. I like the bongos and all these. Seems like a very trumpet-forward OST so far, which hey, I'm not complaining, because I feel like saxophones always get all the hype, which I love a good sax solo too, obviously, but I like to hear a trumpet in all these tracks. That's cool. There's a track called PRIYO City, and there's like 5 variations on it, so I'm just gonna listen to one of them here. I kind of went through the first couple seconds of each one, and then the one that caught my attention the most was part 3, so let's hear that one. Because we need like a samba edition. Wow, yeah, that chord progression's sweet. I just can't see this in a racing game or like a car driving game. I mean, I can. It's just, it's so out of the ordinary. That's why I love it. But you know, something about a lot of Japanese composers, they're so good with jazz-inspired stuff and just writing big band charts. There are so many really talented musicians that are Japanese that write big band charts and things akin to this style. Dude, I absolutely love this chord progression. Yeah, this reminds me more of a classic racing game. It kind of sounds like mini-game music or something in like Mario Party. Yeah, about time we had a trombone soloist. Cool organ and electric piano. Alright, let's try to find one that's a little bit more rock based. Still got the horns and organ though. Keep that attitude in there. I mean, even though it started out more rock inspired, they still got that horn section and everything, so it's all very jazzy. I really appreciate that about it. All right, let's listen to Depression. The percussion is very like Brazilian. I don't know why it's called Depression. I mean, it's not making me feel very depressed. I love all the dissonance on those super jazzy chords. Alright, I gotta listen to this one just simply for the title. It's called Funny Fat Guy. What? It's giving like ska. It definitely sounds more humorous. It's still super stylish. Yeah, man. I like that part. Give it to him, trombonist. Don't get me wrong, man. I absolutely love what I've heard of this soundtrack, and I would absolutely listen to this. I listen to a lot of big band music, like just instrumental music, you know? I think this is a super cool soundtrack. I can't help but feel like some of it might start to like bleed together a little bit if you're playing the game, just because everything is big band, everything is jazz. There's so few video game OSTs that have this kind of sound. I think it's super cool. I wish it would have been released in the US, but I guess they thought we wouldn't like it or something. I can tell you that a lot of people would have liked to grow up hearing the soundtrack, that's for sure. I would have. At least I'm hearing it now, and I thank you for that recommendation, because definitely up my alley, and definitely something I will revisit later and listen to when I'm feeling that big band itch that I need scratched. The next OST I want to take a look at is from a game called Rez. Do you guys know this game? So it says this is a music rail shooter video game. It's published by Sega for the Dreamcast and PS2, and it was released in Japan in 2001 and then released in the US and Europe in 2002. It seems like kind of an interesting game from what I've seen of the screenshots of it. I've never heard of it before looking it up. This request comes from Mecha Guy. Here's what they said about it. It's a compilation of sorts featuring different artists with the main focus of trance music, especially the slow build-ups that all the tracks have. Okay, let's just hear this. I don't know anything going into this, how it's gonna be. Let's see, let's just start with the first track. There we go. Now this is a 180 from the last genre we heard. Ooh, I like that bass line though. It definitely is like building, you know? They're kind of just layering different stuff on top of the original sound. Yeah, it's definitely given that 2001 sort of feeling. Okay, so yeah, I feel like we kind of went like this, you know, like it started, it added more, layered more, got to kind of a climax area, and then went back down to kind of where it started. I think that probably for this game, like if you're actually playing it, this probably is super fitting for what I'm imagining it looks like. I don't know what to think about it yet. It's definitely a little bit of a trance techno sort of feeling. So let's check some more tracks out. Yeah, this is super techno-y. Well, this game looks like it was meant to be like ultra futuristic, at least for the time that it came out. So I can imagine that this sort of soundtrack is probably really fitting for that. Certainly fitting for the time. Look, but the thing with me, I want to keep it honest on this channel, and I don't want to just listen to everything and just be like, yeah, it's the greatest thing I've ever heard for every song I hear. And these are just my opinions, obviously, but you know, being more attracted to jazz inspired stuff, it's not as much my style, I guess, to hear this kind of techno trance kind of feeling. The thing I like about techno and trance music is not as much the music itself, even though, I mean, I know there's so many people who are fans of it. It's kind of more like where it takes me nostalgia wise, you know. It does bring me back to the early 2000s and gives me that happy feeling of like when I was first on the internet and just all the crap I found online. I think for that, I like it in that sense, but as just stuff I'd listen to in my free time, I don't listen to a whole lot of techno stuff. Also, this soundtrack, it seems like it was made by a variety of composers, which is pretty cool. This one's pretty chill, honestly. I do like all the cool sounds that are going on. It is pretty pleasing to hear with your headphones on. Man, that saw sound is so dirty. It's so like 2001. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of this kind of thing where they mix the vocals to be like rhythmic within the song. Kind of giving that rhythm game sort of feeling almost. That's pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool. Okay, we got a mixture of like kind of real sounding percussion loop, and then obviously the kick is sounding very synthetic. Yeah, like the little vocal samples, they kind of give me a Jet Set Radio or like, you know, some kind of rhythm, early 2000s rhythm game feeling. Maybe this was like a rhythm-based game, I'm really not entirely sure. I could definitely see myself maybe listening to this like if I'm working out or something. Get you pretty hyped up. Is there gonna be like a drop? Yeah, even though it has that dirty sound, it's pretty chill still. I like the percussion in this one too. Yeah, I feel like for this one I don't have the best commentary because it is like pretty repetitive. Once again, I know that's kind of the point, but it is just very much a kind of layered sort of soundtrack where they just keep, you know, layering the parts. I'd like to definitely see some gameplay alongside this. I'm sure that to a lot of people this is probably an extremely nostalgic soundtrack, and I definitely see like how a lot of these could be super catchy if you are into techno and trance music. Like for that genre, they're definitely nicely put together and seem to be very fitting for this game Res, which I'll have to look up what that actually looks like. So thank you again, Mecha Guy, for your recommendation for this one. Next, we have a game called Ori and the Blind Forest. And this recommendation comes from J Light. It looks like a pretty sweet, like sweet as in like kind. It looks like a gentle sort of game just from the visuals I see from Googling it. It looks pretty cute. I can imagine that the OST probably is going to reflect that too. We're getting a taste of everything today, honestly. This is a pretty darn long soundtrack, so let's just look at some of the big ones here. Well, let's listen to the opening first. Ori, Lost in the Storm. It's got that grand sort of orchestral, cinematic feeling. And a very pretty vocalist. Okay, really pretty intro actually. I liked that and I felt the emotion. It definitely is kind of going in the direction I was thinking just based on when I saw the picture of the cover art. It's a lot more intense than the first one. Ooh, hell yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I love the rhythms and the chords in the piano. You got such a simple melody, but everything underneath is just crazy. Oh, it's pretty. Woo. Damn, this became very intense. That was cool. I really liked that one. That was so emotional, but in a different way. It got really intense there at the end, but that was cool. Yeah, that percussion gives it such a magical, ancient kind of sound. You have the clarinet on top. It's giving like stealth. Anytime you have those strings that are real staccato, I feel like it's like you have to sneak around. Yeah, I like that crunch right there. Oh, all the crunchiness is so beautiful. Really builds that tension. I don't know what's happening in that scene, but it's giving me kind of like chasing vibes. Yeah, it keeps surprising me with how like intense it gets. You can definitely tell it's like an adventurous game. of an ambient track so far. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, I'm not sure how else to describe this soundtrack other than very magical. I don't know exactly what the genre is called. I mean, it has that cinematic feel, like I said. I guess orchestra music. Man, it reminds me so much, though, of like choral songs that we would sing when I was in choir. Specifically like Eric Whitacre, that kind of stuff. It's just this kind of music that really takes you to another world almost. It feels like it's crazy how it can make you feel. Let's do Racing the Lava. That's the one. That one sounds cool. No, now this is a chase kind of song. Yeah, it's giving like Flight of the Bumblebee. Oh, okay, that was the end of that one. That was short. Yeah, so cool. Man, that woodwind section. Always love an addition of like woodwinds in this kind of music. You hear the choir too? I don't know if it's a full choir, but there's like vocalists that are going with the strings. Really adds to the urgency. Yeah, damn, that one is it's called the Fleeing KURO, and it's definitely giving that fleeing feeling. Holy shit. Yeah, and the vocals are so powerful on these because they're not even saying anything. They're just like singing around a vowel or whatever. And it's so powerful. Wow, there's like so much behind her voice too. Like pain, pain, sounds like painful emotion. Yeah, we kind of got this feeling again where it's like very, very moving. But just all the instruments that go into this soundtrack really give it that magical, just unreal feeling. I think there's just such a strong kind of fantasy feeling that's evoked from this kind of music. Just as fitting for a movie as it is for a video game. As much as I love the more quote-unquote gimmicky soundtracks that are kind of like more, I don't know, niche. I feel like I usually cover more niche OSTs on this channel. You really can't go wrong with those soundtracks that just have that full orchestra sound. And specifically the person who composed this, it looks like his name is Gareth Coker. You can tell by the way he composed it, like the chord progressions that they use, and the writing is extremely fantasy magic leaning sort of sound, and I don't even know how to explain that. It's like when you hear a song add in the like you're just immediately going to think of like a spy sort of genre, you know? I will be taking a look at this to its full extent later. I'd like to even just play it just to hear, because this kind of music, I feel like you need to be playing the game and just really experiencing everything, and then kind of going back and listening to the soundtrack. But absolutely beautiful, fantastic score, wonderful, wonderful recommendation. Thank you for that, J-Light. And then the last one we have today that we're looking at is from a game called Ratchet and Clank. I have heard of this game. I never played this, but it looks super, super familiar. Like I've absolutely seen these characters before. This recommendation comes from Baruski. So they've helpfully pointed out that with these tracks, the first name that shows up is like the planet name that you're in, and then the next part is the significant location or event that you're currently in. So that makes it a little easier to see what I'm looking at. I don't know anything about the soundtrack either. I don't know the genre or anything really. So Baruski did say first 6 Ratchet and Clank games were composed by legendary composer David Bergwad, I'm sorry, who has such a unique style that gives the series this amazing retro funk edge that's mashed up with breakbeats, orchestral strings, odd time signatures, and rad as hell techno rhythms and samples. All right, sweet. Let's listen to it. Yeah, a lot of different cool stuff going on. I mean, I definitely hear that orchestra, but like, there's a wow, wow, which is super, you know, opposite. Yeah, this is super interesting. I think the wow 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 really adds the robotic feeling, because isn't one of the guys a robot anyway? Clank, I'm assuming. Ooh. Yeah. The vibes changed a little bit. Dude, it's so dirty at the bottom there. But then they combine the strings. Hell yeah. Oh, this is funky, man. Man, the horns are nasty too. Oh, this is cool. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't quite this. Yeah, those weird little notes in there make it sound a little bit creepy. That one's sick. Definitely something I'd listen to just in general. It's kind of spooky. Yeah, great bass line. And really a great combination of everything. I wonder if it's because, like, I mean, I don't know any of the lore, but Ratchet seems to be a cat-like tiger creature and Clank is a robot. So it's kind of nice that the OST embodies different kind of feelings, you know? Like there's that orchestra, which is such a real sort of feeling, and then there's the kind of synthetic and robotic stuff also mixed in. So I'm sure that there's a rhyme and reason to all that, just from what I'm seeing on the surface. That's really cool. This one's freaky, man. That one was really cool in that it was kind of ambient at first, and then there's like really cool bass lines in all these tracks, I swear. It's definitely unlike anything I've ever heard in terms of like the genre. It's a very strange mixture, but it really, really works. Hi, yeah, I'm in a different spot. I had a power outage like as I was filming, and luckily everything was saved. It was just out for a while. It was a whole thing. But anyway, we're going to continue here in this location. The next one that we're looking at is the logging site in EUDORA. Yeah, I think a lot of these have a similar kind of beat, like loop that's going on. But there's like a little bit of like blues and jazz influence as well. Gotta catch them all because he's Danny Phantom. I'm sorry, that's what just popped into my head. I know this was before Danny Phantom, but that's what it reminds me of. This soundtrack just has so much personality, you know, even without seeing what it looks like, I can kind of imagine. This one obviously has a bit more of a creepy feel. And I'm getting a lot of like sci-fi vibes. Which I think is probably like the main theme of the game. You know, it looks very sci-fi. Man, those horns, man. It adds so much weight, you know? It's kind of like quirky and fun, while also being like really on the nose for what I imagine these characters are like, and just what the environment is like, you know, in this game. This is a lot more serious. Yeah, but you still got that same kind of drum loop in all these songs. So I feel like it doesn't take itself too seriously. The horns are so like menacing and deep sounding. And there's like a turntable though. They're just throwing everything in this one. The soundtrack's just like such a hot pot. Hot pot or melting pot? I think I meant to say melting pot, but I was thinking about hot pots. They've all got that futuristic edge to them. Ooh. Giving more drum and bass UK garage vibes. Yeah, you hear those chords in the back? Very housey. Every time the bass takes over, it's so legendary. You hear that, man? So housey, jungly. Yeah, this one's one of the best tracks so far. Why do these all sound so cool? Just taking a glance at the comments while I'm listening to the soundtrack, it seems like the remasters of these games have changed the soundtrack, and people are not happy about it. And I don't know why they would change it to anything more quote-unquote generic sounding, because everything I'm hearing is just so unique. You know, I mean, you can tell it's all from the same game. It all has a kind of style. It's just so cool. I just don't know why they would do away with this sort of music. Man, those horns sound like hellish. I love the percussion, you know, because it's like so stoic, but then you juxtapose it with all these other elements. Although this one's pretty straightforward, you know. Yeah, I knew they'd have to throw in that beat again. Because they gotta keep it really fresh, no matter what style they're going for in each of these tracks. Yeah, it's sounding kind of late 90s to me, this part. I don't think you can physically listen to this and not, you know, nod your head and smile. It's just such a charming soundtrack. This part is so cool. Okay, it's already giving sewer. So fitting. You have like kind of a water droplet sound, but it's really coming from like what sounds like steel drums and some other kind of percussion. It's just so unique and creative. Yeah, those are steel drums for sure. I can just picture it perfectly. It's such a sewer sounding song. And I mean that as a compliment. Spooky, but it's still too cool to actually be scary. I feel like all of these, no matter the context, you could just get down to all these tracks because there's always going to be a beat. And a killer bass line. Some cool dissonance right there. Yo, this is super 90s. Especially that sound effect. Yeah, but the lead is kind of still spooky. I don't know if it's spooky so much as like sci-fi-esque, you know? And like that synthesizer, it just gives the overall sci-fi robot feeling. Freaky. I feel like this was a game that I would have liked if I discovered it back in 2002, but it just flew under my radar. Well, I was a GameCube girly too. I don't know if this was ever released for that. I think it was only PS2, so that's probably why. Cool ambient sounds going on. Really freaky sounding, this one. I do believe this is a battle team though, so I mean, it is kind of scary, threatening sounding. I absolutely love that sound. It's so, like, perfect for a robot planet. All these tracks have like a part where everything switches up and the vibes change for a minute and then it'll like go back. It really keeps you on your toes, you know? It's giving like dial-up. This is interesting, this one. It's kind of silly so far. Really unique combination of stuff here. Alien-y sounding. UFO. Cool harmony there with the woodwinds. Changes the key up, and it is giving me anxiety now. It's just so funny because the harmony on those synths is like so feel good and just like whatever. And then there's also like the menacing kind of ambient sounds in the back, so it's so funny how they all collide. This one's kind of giving like Ghostbusters. Like once it gets too like serious and scary, the orchestra comes in and like lightens everything up a little bit. Like, don't worry, we're still in a lighthearted game. Yeah. I don't know if it's more spooky or more like just alien sounding. Maybe both. I think this is the final boss theme. So it's definitely giving what I was expecting. Man, the percussion's so sweet in all these. This is kind of the most like traditional sounding one so far. The woodwind part is so cool. Yeah, this is sweet. This is like the kind of stuff I'd want to play like when I was back in band. But it does kind of sound like it would kill you if you're a clarinetist like I was. Oh, that one's sweet. The boss theme was by far the most like normal sounding video game song on this, as far as like a traditional just kind of orchestra sounding OST. But clearly this is not just a normal sounding OST. Obviously there's a lot of really different, cool, unique, creative parts, like really creative OST. Obviously so much thought put into it. I'm sure with context, with all the levels to it, like everything just fits perfectly, and it feels very like streamlined and very well thought out in the way that they, you know, composed everything and all the elements they put into it. I kind of want to play this game. I don't know, it looks like something I would like it looks like something I would have grown up playing. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of listening party. We got a great variety here. Really, we got kind of a taste of everything, like different ends of every spectrum, so I really enjoyed myself. I think, okay, yeah, I'm biased. My favorite was Critical Velocity. I'm sorry, I'm a jazz girly at heart, but it's definitely something I would listen to just in my free time. But honestly, all really solid choices and quite unique as well. I think a lot of the tracks were just unlike a lot of things I've ever heard before in VGM. So thank you guys again very much for the cool ass suggestions. I look forward to seeing more of them down the line. If you guys enjoyed, then I hope to see you in my next video, and thank you for watching. Bye!